welcome back to Hey Kentucky. The Kentucky legislature is having to deal with a lot of new territory this session, not only the budget, but now COVID-19 as well, and how that will impact everything. I'm pleased to be joined today by House Speaker David Osborne. Thank you so much for taking some time out to be with us today. Hope you and your family are well.
We are well. Thank you so much. Good to be with you.
All right. Now, this budget that needs to get done is now gotten a lot trickier because the revenue expected when the budget was made is likely not going to be the revenue that Kentucky takes in. Can you kind of walk us through how you guys are dealing with that right now?
Well, it really is a new set of circumstances. We have dealt with, in the past, we've dealt with recessions, we've dealt with losses of revenues before, but we've never had to actually react to it in the middle of crafting a budget. The way the budget process works is the consensus forecasting group met in December and gave us their projections. It's all been blown completely out of the water. And so it's not just a matter of trying to figure out how to be as conservative as we possibly can with the state's resources, but also just trying to figure out how to react to the state's need at this particular point. And it's difficult to project either.
I know it's hard to project. You can't see the future, but we don't know how long this will last. The staying healthy at home, the people out of work. We just don't know. So things that are really important to everybody, including fully funding the pension, will that be a top priority?
The pensions will be a top priority. Obviously, we're going to have to reassess all of our funding levels at this point in time, but the funding of our pensions has been a top priority for us since we took over the majority in 2017, and it will remain a priority. We became the first legislature in modern history to fully fund the actuarially required contribution, and that was a priority for us. It was important to us and remains important to us. The difficulty is, this was finally that budget that we were actually going to be able to do some things that we had all looked forward to doing. And this was the year we were finally going to be able to increase funding for higher ed. This was the year that we were finally going to be able to reward our hardworking state employees and our teachers by giving them, while not huge, but we were going to be able to give them some pay raises. And we're now forced into having to reevaluate those things. So it's very disappointing. It's frustrating. It's a little nerve-wracking just to try to find the number that we're all comfortable with in budgeting too.
With the budget being a necessity to get done, is that part of the reason why you all are still convening in Frankfort?
It is. That is our primary focus. It's been our primary focus the entire year. And now, of course, we're dealing with some emergency measures to try to blunt some of the damages of this crisis that we find ourselves in. So we're doing some emergency legislation to support the governor and some of the executive orders that he's issued to give him some authorities that he needs. Doing some things to help the education community deal with an incredible loss of days and the fact that they are not able to be in schools right now. There's still a lot of important things that we're doing, but none of those as important as the budget.
Now, there has been a representative that has brought up the notion of limiting the governor's executive order abilities. Where do you fall on that?
That was a bill that we didn't even discuss. It was we didn't even realize the amendment had been filed. We recommitted that bill back to committee several days ago when we realized we wouldn't move it during the session, and then there was an amendment filed on it subsequent to that we didn't even know about until yesterday when there were some concerns raised about it. But that bill's not going to move anywhere.
How would you characterize Governor Beshear's handling of the coronavirus situation so far?
I think he's done an excellent job. I think he's continued to calm people's fears. I think he's done a good job of managing the administration of the crisis, coordinating with federal officials, coordinating with the medical community. I think he's done an admirable job.
And finally, Speaker, if you could just kind of say a word to Kentuckians who are, who've either lost their jobs, hopefully temporarily, or are worried about that. What kind of confidence can you give them that the legislature is working for them?
Look, I would love to be able to provide some words that would provide great comfort to people that are finding themselves in crisis right now. I'm not likely to do that. We're doing everything we can. We're coordinating closely with the federal government, and we will move as quickly and as precisely as we possibly can in the remaining days we have in the legislature, and then be very reactive once we leave here as well to do everything we can to help our constituents.
House Speaker David Osborne, thanks for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us today. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, much more Hey Kentucky right after this.